but there is a risk that deep, independent thinking gets weaker. What defines us is not which tools we have. It is our daily habits in using them. The hype says this will end universities, but history suggests something more nuanced.
Over the past few years, artificial intelligence has quietly moved into every corner of our lives, from classrooms to universities and finally workplaces. At exactly the same time, universities are under tremendous pressure from every direction. Student loans are growing and the trust in universities are dropping quite fast. Now, AI is being governed and controlled by a small group of large companies that have the infrastructure, they have the cloud platforms, and finally they have masterpiece of AIs and infrastructure that is running this whole show. Now, at this critical moment, the question is, these companies, while they have the tools, do they hold the knowledge? In our today's debate, we have Mr. Sadat with ourselves from ISTU University to talk this matter with. Mr. Sadat, in the age of artificial intelligence, do you think universities are going to survive?
Well, yes, I believe universities will survive, but they will not stay the same. For centuries, from the medieval universities to today, they have adapted to new technologies. The printing press, the industrial machines, computers, and then the internet. And AI at the latest, and most probably it is the strongest wave. But the question is not will the universities die? The question is that which universities will reinvent themselves fast enough to stay relevant next to AI?
But AI is different, it controls knowledge. How do you see that?
We have heard this kind of fear before. In the 90s and early 2000s, when the internet and then online learning arrived, many commentators predicted the end of universities. Some magazines even run headlines saying that online education would replace campuses. In 2012, the year that was famously called the year of the MOOC, Massive Open Online Courses, from the platforms like Coursera and edX were prompted as a tsunami that would traditional education obsolete. What happened? Online learning grew very fast and became mainstream. But serious research later concluded that MOOCs and online programs supplemented traditional higher education instead of replacing it. So with AI, we are in a similar moment. The hype says this will end universities, but history suggests something more nuanced. Universities will change shape, not vanish.
Interesting. Still, there's a power issue. If AI is controlled by a few big tech companies, doesn't that mean knowledge is controlled by them, not by the universities?
It's true that the most powerful AI models and the cloud infrastructure behind them are owned by small groups of global technology companies. But universities are not small players in this ecosystem. They are actually some of the biggest institutional customers of technology in the world. If you look at the global market, one report estimates that the higher education technology market, like software, learning systems, analytics, and so on, was already about $36 billion in 2022, projected to reach around $140 billion by 2030. Cloud services, just for higher education, are projected to grow from more than $2.7 billion in 2021 to more than $50 billion by 2030, with annual growth above 20%. And if you zoom out of even more, Holland IQ estimates that digital and tech spending will reach about 5.5% of the entire $7.3 trillion of global education market by 2025. So universities are not just passive users. They are a major buying force shaping which platforms, which cloud, and which AI tools succeed in education. And now, when you add AI to this picture, you get a similar pattern to what we saw with the internet. When the internet and online courses appeared, many people predicted that the web would kill universities because everything is accessible now. What really happened is that online learning grew and became normal. But universities adapted and stayed central by integrating digital tools to their teaching and their degrees.
Yes, but what about with the AI?
With AI, we are at the same kind of turning point. Yes, big companies control the infrastructure. Yes, AI systems can generate knowledge like outputs. But universities still have a unique role. They select, question, and legitimize knowledge. And they educate people in how to think with these tools instead of simply consuming whatever the algorithm products. If they embrace that role, they keep real power in the knowledge ecosystem, even dominated world.
Very interesting. Now, around the world, based on the analytics, there's a crisis of trust in higher education. How serious is this globally?
It is very serious, and it's not just one country. Across many regions, recent surveys shows that confidence in universities has dropped significantly compared with a decade ago. In the United States, in the United States, for example, the share of adults who say they have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in higher education fell from around 57% in 2015 to 36% by 2023, according to the Gallup and related research for sure. More recent polls show a small recovery to about 42 to 47%, but the overall level of trust is still much lower than it used to be. And you see similar patterns elsewhere. Like in the UK, polling summarized by the Higher Education Policy Institute finds that fewer than 6 in 10 people now recognize universities as an important contributors to the national economy, and public trust in the sector has slipped in recent years. In Australia, one survey found that more than 80% of respondents worry universities prioritize revenue over education, and overall public confidence there has failed from about 81% in 2008 to under 70% in 2023. And if you look at the wider cross-national studies using World Value Survey data, you see that confidence in universities has declined in many countries over the last decade, and is closely linked to broader doubts about institutes and about what counts as trustworthy knowledge. And you see similar patterns elsewhere. Like in the UK, polling summarized by the Higher Education Policy Institute finds that fewer than 6 in 10 people now recognize universities as an important contributors to the national economy, and public trust in the sector has slipped in recent years. In Australia, one survey found that more than 80% of respondents worry universities prioritize revenue over education, and overall public confidence there has failed from about 81% in 2008 to under 70% in 2023. And if you look at the wider cross-national studies using World Value Survey data, you see that confidence in universities has declined in many countries over the last decade, and is closely linked to broader doubts about institutes and about what counts as trustworthy knowledge. So when AI arrives, it lands on top of an existing global trust problem. If universities use AI in a way that looks secretive, purely cost-driven, or that seems to replace human judgment with algorithm, that will deepen the skepticism. But if they use AI transparently to widen access, reduce some costs, and estrange genius critical thinking, then AI can actually be part of rebuilding trust instead of another reason to lose it.
What about students, especially with the idea of cognitive paradox with AI?
Research on AI in education shows something very interesting. AI tools can improve short-term performance. Students write essays faster, organize their ideas better, fix codes much more quickly, but there is a risk that deep, independent thinking gets weaker. Scholars call this the cognitive paradox. On one side, AI enhance productivity and give instant explanations. On the other hand, if students rely on too heavily, they start offloading the hardest part of reasoning to the machine. Studies show that students often achieve better immediate results, but their conceptual understanding and critical thinking skills do not improve at the same rate, and sometimes it decline. So when we say critical thinking with AI, we must be honest. If AI is used naively, students are mainly doing critical checking of AI outputs, not critical generating of ideas. The difference is huge for universities.
Mr. Sadat, if you had to leave students and educators with one sentence specially designed for this era of AI, what would that be?
I would say that our lives are a reflection of our habits more than our education. AI will be everywhere, in our phone, our workplace, our learning platforms. But what defines us is not which tools we have. It is our daily habits in using them. If our habits is to question, to cross-check, to build arguments, and to accept responsibility for our judgments, then AI become an amplifier of human potential. If our habits is to click, generate, copy-paste, and move on, then AI become an amplifier of intellectual laziness. The universities that understand this and design courses, assessments, and campus culture where AI is present, but critical thinking, character, and intellectual courage are non-negotiable, are the ones that will not survive the AI age but lead it.